Welcome back to our class 10 biology. This is your lesson number 6, the excretory system, continued. In the previous class, we have already studied the structure of all parts of the excretory system of man. Today, we will discuss the function of the kidneys, the physiology of excretion, and the disorders of the kidney. Before we start our new lesson, let us recapitulate what we have already studied in the earlier class. We all know that the kidney is the most important part of the excretory system. In the kidney, there are millions of small units called nephrons, which are responsible for formation of urine. Each nephron is made up of two parts, the Malpighian capsule and the renal tubule. Each nephron opens into the collecting tubules, which in turn culminate in the renal pelvis, which in turn leads to the ureters, then the urinary bladder and urethra. Let us now study the functions of the kidney. Osmoregulation. It is the process of maintaining water and salt contents constant. It is very important because if the osmotic pressure of the tissue and blood is different, the water will move from low osmotic pressure to high osmotic pressure, thus hampering the normal working of the body. Second, regulation of water balance. This is done by regulating the amount of urine formation. That is, if the body has more water, the urine that is formed is dilute and in excess. If there is less water in the body, the urine that is produced is concentrated. Regulation of acid-base balance. Regulating the balance of hydrogen and bicarbonate ions in our body is also the function of the kidney. Fourth, regulation of blood pressure. Kidney regulates the blood pressure by secreting a hormone called renin. The kidneys are responsible for maintaining volume, composition, pH and osmotic pressure of the body. Thus, we can say that they are responsible for fluid homeostasis. Fifth, excretion of nitrogenous waste and other substances. The nitrogenous waste products are eliminated with the help of nephrons, which are present in the kidneys. Physiology of urine formation. The formation of urine involves 4 steps. Ultrafiltration, which takes place in the glomerulus. Second, selective reabsorption, that is, absorption of the nutrients back into the system. It takes place in the PCT, that is the proximal convoluted tubule, the loop and the loop of Henle. Third, tubular secretion, active secretion of unwanted substances back into the nephric filtrate is in the distal convoluted tubule. And fourth, whatever remains is called excretion, and this takes place by the collecting tubules. Now let us move on to the process of ultrafiltration, that is filtration of a liquid under tremendous pressure, is known as ultrafiltration. We can all see that there are 2 blood vessels entering and going out from the Bowman's capsule. The one that enters inside is known as the efferent arteriole. It has a larger diameter. The one that moves out is called the efferent arteriole and it has a smaller diameter. That means the amount of blood that is coming into the glomerulus is far more than the one that is going out. That means a certain amount of hydrostatic pressure is created inside the glomerulus. This forces the water as well as the plasma contents out of the glomerulus into the Bowman's capsule. What leaves the blood vessels? What is filtered out, that means, is water, sodium chloride, potassium, certain vitamins and minerals, glucose, amino acids, creatinine, urea, uric acid, hydrogen ions and bicarbonates. Now it moves on. The material that comes out is known as the glomerular filtrate or the nephric filtrate or the ultrafiltrate. Next, this fluid goes into the proximal convoluted tubule. Here, selective reabsorption takes place. Why is it called proximal? Is because it lies close to the Bowman's capsule. It is called convoluted because it is thrown into folds. Now, to increase the surface area for absorption of the nutrients back into the circulation. Now, what is absorbed here? Almost 95 to 100% of the glucose and amino acids are reabsorbed. Almost 65% of the water is reabsorbed. Potassium ion, sodium chloride, bicarbonates, certain amount of urea, uric acid are reabsorbed into the circulation. Then this filtrate then moves on to the loop of into the loop of Henle. The arm that comes down is known as the descending loop. 15% of the water is reabsorbed in this descending loop. It goes up by the ascending loop. The ascending limb is impregnable to water. Hence, water is not absorbed here. Then what is secreted out from here? What is reabsorbed here? Is ionic exchange takes place here. Sodium, chloride, potassium, magnesium. Ions move out from the nephric filtrate into the circulation. This filtrate then moves to the distal convoluted tubule. The distal convoluted tubule is away from the Bowman's capsule, hence it's called the distal convoluted tubule. Here, active secretion takes place, that is, secretion of harmful substances from the blood to the nephric filtrate through the walls of the DCT. This is whatever urea is left, sodium, potassium, depending upon the availability in the body, that is secreted out. Certain amount of urea, hormones, even certain harmful substances, antibiotics are all secreted actively with the use of energy back into the nephric filtrate. This then moves to the collecting tubules. In the collecting tubules, the effect is seen of the ADH, antidiuretic hormone, which is secreted by the pituitary gland. If the body has water in it, then excess water is thrown out from the collecting tubules. If there is less water in the body, water is reabsorbed from the distal convoluted tubule as well as the collecting tubules. Disorders of the kidney. Hematuria. Blood is passed out together with urine. This is caused because of infection of the urinary tract, or could be infection in the kidneys, or it could be because of stone. Uremia, excess of urea in the blood. This is caused due to malfunctioning of the nephrons. That is, the nephrons are not able to excrete out all the urea from the blood. This is dangerous. Glycosuria, glucose in urine. If there is insufficient amount of insulin in the individual, then excess of glucose is thrown out together with urine. This is called diabetes mellitus. Kidney stones. Stones are sometimes found in the kidney or urinary bladder or the tract. This is due to the precipitation of uric acid and salts like calcium oxalate. The real reason why this happens is not very clear. Now let us see the summary of excretion. The nephron can be easily seen here, and you can see that it is divided into the Bowman's capsule, the proximal convoluted tubule, the distal convoluted tubule, and the loop of Henle. All the green that you see is filtration taking place, and you can see filtration only takes place in the Bowman's capsule, and there is no other filtration anywhere else. The arrows that are marked in purple is reabsorption. Reabsorption from the return of substances from the filtrate to the blood. And you can see it takes place in the proximal convoluted tubule, the distal convoluted tubule, as well as the loop of Henle. Secretion, which is throwing out or active release of substances from the blood to the distal convoluted tubule, is only seen in the distal convoluted, and even a little bit of urea and uric acid, I told you, is absorbed, is thrown out from the blood into the nephric filtrate that takes place in the proximal convoluted tubule. With this, we finish this chapter on excretion. Thank you and have a great day.